Without further ado, we'll now proceed to the highlight of today's program, the presentation of Arta's key accomplishments this 2025. Everyone, let us give a warm round of applause to Arta's Director General Secretary Ernesto Viver.
Magandang po sa ating lahat. Masyadong serious at nakakayak yung opening remarks niya. Nagtuwan tuloy ako. Hindi ako sanay. Pero ngayong hapon, chill na tayo. Medyo magkaroon tayo ng more relaxed environment. Lalong-lalo na sa mga balita na naririnig natin, yung mga unexpected unpredictable news that come out. So let's have something more positive this time. This is a yearly activity that ARTA is having, not only to present to you the update of our accomplishments as well as our plans for the future, but also as a parang celebration natin as we end the year. No? And this is our way of pagpapasalamat po sa inyo sa mga suporta na ginagawa niyo sa amin. Alam niyo naman po, ang ARTA, focus lang tayo sa trabaho. We want to set that image of bringing some positivity into what maybe what's happening in the country that makes the Philippines more exciting. Diba? It's exciting to live in the Philippines. There's really nothing like the Philippines. No? Tayo pong mga Pilipino ay ano na sa atin yung maging mabait, maging hospitable, maging pasensyoso, and generally we are a fun-loving people. So, sa araw po na to, lalong-lalo sa hapon na ito po yung aming pagpapakita ng malaking pagpasalamat po sa lalong-lalo na sa mga coverage nyo na ginagawa ng ARTA in the past months. Without really expecting so much from us, except that we want to be truthful, we want to be as honest and as transparent as possible, and advocating full transparency and accountability in the public service. Ito po ating ginagawang year-end media conference. It's also parang naging platform natin for our engagement. You as our media partners, as well as this gives us the opportunity dito sa ARTA na ma-showcase natin yung ating mga accomplishments for 2025. Ito din po ay it reaffirms ARTA's commitment to the President's vision of a bagong Pilipinas, of a government that is responsive and accessible to every Filipino. Sabi nga po natin, mahal na Pangulo, wala pong no Filipino is to be left behind. Walang iwanan. At kami po sa ARTA, ating pong ginagawa ang lahat na suportahan ang administrasyon na ito. Dahil kami po ay naniniwala na kasama po tayo, nasa isa tayong sasakyan, nasa isang barko tayo, nasama-sama tayo in our journey. So kapag may nangyari sa barko, sama-sama din tayo. Huwag naman sanang lumubog, kundi patuloy nating mararating ang ating destinasyon. Kasi kung sisiraan tayo and we bring down our government without offering alternatives, better alternatives, then we will sink together. Of course, we do not want that. We Filipinos are peace-loving people, and we just want to enjoy life masyado nga tayong pasensyoso, kaya minsan natawag we are a fun-loving people. No? It's more fun in the Philippines, sabi nila. So this year, yung ARTA po ay naging abala sa ating pag-implement ng ating mandate to streamline government processes across agencies, strengthen compliance monitoring, and expanded digital initiatives to make transactions simpler and faster. Ito po ay sangayon din sa direktiba ng ating mahal na Pangulo na upang labanan ang red tape and corruption, dapat po ang ating proseso, ang ating serbisyo publiko ay streamlined and digitalized. And so we are happy and proud to share with you the milestones that we have done so far in our continuing goal of transforming red tape into red carpets. Red carpet approach where we must focus on, because this is what our people expect: more efficient, more effective government service. Our investors, our partners, they look at the Philippines as an opportunity. So therefore, opportunity to have a better life where we can find the Philippines as a better alternative for business. At kung atin pong mabigyan ng tamang panahon, tamang pagkakataon ng ating mga businessmen, our prospective investors, at mag-project po natin itong imahe na dito sa Pilipinas ay we are ready for business. Therefore, businesses will come in. It will provide more business and livelihood opportunities for our people para mapalago natin ang ekonomiya, mayangat natin ang ating standards of living sa ating mga kapwa Pilipino. So we at ARTA, we are grateful that you have joined us this afternoon, a gathering where it gives us an opportunity to look back on what we have achieved together and to present the road ahead. Sabi nga po ng ating mahal na Pangulo, who reminds us that services must be fast, deadlines met, and red tape replaced with a red carpet. This sets the standard for how government should operate. It means that transactions should be simple and timely, and that we as citizens should experience a system that respects their time and needs. So yung ang i-emphasize ko, yung Filipino time, which is punctual and exact. Hindi po yung delayed at late. At ating pong talagang pinagsisikapan na tuwing meron tayong official events, we as much as possible start on time. But of course, we can be flexible when we have to wait for important people na talagang gusto natin kasi marinig ng lahat bago tayo mag-umpisa. So, the idea of replacing red tape with red carpet represents a shift from barriers to a welcoming approach that makes processes easier and more accessible. We look up to you, our media partners, to help share these changes and make sure people understand what is being done. We always refer to the law, yung Republic Act 11032, or the Ease of Doing Business Law as the Changemaker Law. Why Changemaker Law? Because once fully implemented, it will require not only changes in government, but more importantly, will result in more effective service delivery para yung ating mga kababayan at sino man na merong engagement or business with us in government, they will feel happy about it. Pero, para magkaroon tayo ng talagang panahon o pagkakataon na makita itong ating pag-implement ng Ease of Doing Business Law properly, kailangan. Ito po yung palagi kong sinasabi. For us to effectively implement the Ease of Doing Business Law, it requires a mindset change or shift. A change in the mindset of people in government, particularly itong ating mga regulators, na dapat naiintindihan ng ating mga kapwa kawani sa gobyerno na ang ating pong tungkulin ay maglingkod. Hindi lamang maglingkod sa ating kapwa-tao, hindi lamang protektahan ang ating environment, meron din po itong karugtong na responsibility. Ito po ang ating tinatawag na responsibilidad naman na mapalago ang negosyo dito sa Pilipinas. In simple terms, our duty, our mandate as public servants is not only to protect our people and environment, but also to promote business. Why is it important that these two must go together? Because by not only protecting our people in environment, but also promoting business, we provide that business enabling environment that will attract more investors to come in and encourage existing investors and businessmen to expand their business so that we can provide more business and livelihood opportunities for our people. Pag natin that we are able to provide that much needed business and livelihood opportunities for our people, maiangat po natin ang standards of living ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino, kung saan sila po ay magiging masaya, hindi na po sila mag-isipan ng anong bagay na makakasira sa ating bansa, katulad ng pagnanakaw, katulad ng pag-engage into drugs. Because when people are busy with their livelihood, with their businesses, and are happy with what they have now, they will not think of any other things of doing something bad because they are enjoying their life. Alam naman natin, pag tayo po ay gumawa ng kasalanan, wala pong sinasabing that we can be totally free. Because time will happen that justice will always prevail, justice will catch up on us, and if we have done something wrong or illegal, there is no such thing as perfect crime. At the proper time, we will be discovered, and once discovered, we will be prosecuted and we will be held answerable for all the wrongs and the crimes we have committed. Kaya ang ating pong ginagawa, mapaganda ang buhay dito sa Pilipinas, magkaroon ng mas mabuting serbisyo publiko para yung ating mga kapwa Pilipino ay hindi na mag-iisip ng masama, kundi patuloy na tayong mag-enjoy sa ating buhay. Kaya, sa ngayon po dito, ang mandato ng ARTA, of course, alam naman natin, we've been saying this, na dalawa po, yung enabling, yun po ay yung ating mga partner agencies, tinutulungan po natin sila na makapag-comply po dito sa Ease of Doing Business Law as prescribed, specifically provided for in the law. Pero kung meron pong matigas ang ulo, hindi sumusunod sa tamang proseso, meron din po naman tayong enforcement mandate kung saan ang sino mang magkasala o yung mag-violate ng Ease of Doing Business Law, iakit po itong ipo-prosecute, and if necessary, if evidence warrants, we file charges against them before the Office of the Ombudsman or the Civil Service Commission. So, as the next slide shows, we are celebrating progress and empowering businesses. What makes 2025 stand out? This year marks a milestone for ARTA as we celebrated the inaugural Ease of Doing Business Month, the first in our history, with the President signing Proclamation number 818. Ito po ay nirekomenda ng ARTA sa ating mahal na Pangulo na ideklara ang buwan ng Mayo. At every month thereafter, every May thereafter, as the Ease of Doing Business Month. Niligdaan po ito ng Pangulo noong just before May this year. And even with a limited time, tayo po ay we did our best to celebrate. And of course, with the support of our media partners, our stakeholders, chambers of commerce, naging successful po ay ating celebration. In fact, during that whole month of celebration, where we started with a fun run, a day before the election, marami pong gustong sumali. Pero dahil sa limitasyon ng lugar, ay nalimit lang natin yung mga participants to just 300. Pero ako po'y nangangaw na sana, next year magkaroon tayo ng mas malaking lugar para ma-accommodate natin as many other people as possible. At doon po sa ating mga regional field offices, nagkaroon po tayo ng weekend Ease of Doing Business Month celebration or summit, kung saan ating pong ni-request, sinikayat yung ating mga partner agencies like the LTO, PSA, kung saan yung mga ating mga kababayan na nakatira sa malalayo, pupunta sila sa mall, doon makakapag-apply sila ng kanilang driver's license, makuha nila yung kanilang senior citizen ID, at kung yung mga ahensya na nakipag-cooperate with us, na ibigay nila yung tamang servisyo sa ating mga mamamayan sa isang araw na ating pong dinivote dito sa pag-celebrate ng Ease of Doing Business Month. At dahil po sa claim of success, marami po tayong natanggap na mga pasasalamat galing sa ating mga kababayan, gagawin po natin itong yearly activity and we will even expand it. No? Dahil sa kakulangan ng panahon, nagawa lang natin ito for every region, kasi we only have 8 regional field offices. For every region, nagkaroon na tayo ng celebration doon sa Arcos, sa isang lugar, sa isang mall. Pero we will do it, hopefully, given enough budget, we will do it in the 4 weekends of the month of May next year. Now, through these initiatives, and as reflected in the year's theme, From Red Tape to Red Carpet, Better Business Movement in a Bagong Pilipinas, ARTA has implemented a whole-of-government approach that engages both government agencies and the private sector. This collaborative effort aims to transform the country's business environment, making it globally competitive and business-ready. The observance of the Ease of Doing Business Month encourage agencies to examine their current systems and identify steps that can be simplified. It also supported the use of digital tools and the reduction of paperwork, helping both citizens and businesses complete their transactions with less difficulty. Ano po ang ating strategiya dito sa ARTA? A whole-of-government approach, and that we consider government agencies as our partner agency. We share strength and make processes clearer, more consistent, aligned with the whole-of-government approach. Dito po, sa taong ito, we have forged partnerships, not only with key government agencies, but also the key government agencies like the Office of the Ombudsman. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the newly appointed Ombudsman. during our first day of the Ease of Doing Business Convention held on November 12 at Manila Hotel. Siya po yung ating naging keynote speaker. At dahil po dito, napaigting yung ating collaboration with the Office of the Ombudsman. Kasi nangyari po kasi, before the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, under the law kasi, pag meron kami natatanggap ng mga reklamo, we first refer it to the Committee on Anti-Red Tape of the different agencies. At karamihan po, nare-resolve doon. Kaya yung mga complaints that have been resolved referred to us, almost 99% ay nare-resolve at the level of the Committee on Anti-Red Tape for all the agencies that have set up and operationalized a Committee on Anti-Red Tape. Dahil doon sa less than 1% na nag-prosper into a complaint, inimbestiga po natin ito and we required respondents to submit a counter affidavit at on the basis of the evidence, kung merong basis to file the complaint, we file it with either the Office of the Ombudsman, pag yung respondent ay a presidential appointee with a salary grade 27 or above. O kung kaya, kung yung case involves a criminal aspect, so we file it with the Office of the Ombudsman. Pero pag salary grade 26 and below, non-presidential appointee, we file it with the Civil Service Commission if it involves a purely administrative case. Meaning yung maximum penalty is either suspension or dismissal. But what happens when we file recommendation na po ito with the Ombudsman or with the Civil Service Commission? Under the law, our findings and recommendations are just recommendations. So, the Ombudsman will conduct another investigation to establish the basis for either dismissing the case or filing it with the regular court or the Sandigan Bayan. So, nagkakaroon na another layer of delay, another red tape in the process. So, sa ating pong Memorandum of Understanding with the new Ombudsman, ating pong pinakiusapan ang ating mahal na Ombudsman na kung pwede to give way or to respect our finding para hindi na magkaroon ng another set of investigation. And the Ombudsman is open about it. This will ensure that cases will be acted more expeditiously until, of course, our proposal to amend the law, because we have submitted to Congress a revised Ease of Doing Business law that will give or empower ARTA that power, a quasi judicial body, an investigative body that will have the power to directly file the case after due process when evidence warrants, to file it directly with the regular court or with the Sandigan Bayan or with the Ombudsman if it involves purely administrative case or criminal case. So yun po yung ating ginagawa sa ating pagtulungan sa Office of the Ombudsman. The Civil Service Commission, we also have planned to meet with them and come up with a memorandum of agreement, something similar to our agreement with the Office of the Ombudsman. So this is a work in process, a continuous collaboration that we're doing not only with the Ombudsman or the Civil Service Commission, but also with our partner agencies like the Department of Interior and Local Government, and also for us to strengthen our initiatives and programs at the LGU level. Kasi ating pong nakita based on experience na yung most of the delays happen at the LGU level. Kaya the focus, whenever we start implementing program initiative, we highlight it at the LGU level. Sabi kayo nga kasi nila, all economy is local, actually. And that's true. Pag yung ating mga batas, ay mga regulasyon ay napapatupad natin na maayos sa ating LGU, ano yan? Bottom up ang ating strategy. It will be much easier for us to implement those programs. Now, in order to implement our digitalization initiative, we also work closely with the DICT or the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Kasi yung mandato nasa kanila. Let me be clear, no? That in our mandate to implement the Ease of Doing Business Law, our principal mandate is to interconnect government agencies. We have that unique mandate of interconnecting government agencies without losing, at the same time, respecting the mandate of the government agency involved. For instance, kung ang ating programa is with the LGU, we recognize not only the LGU, but also the DILG as the lead agency. The same goes with our digitalization initiative. If it involves digitalization of government processes, we respect the mandate of the DICT, we collaborate with the DICT, and we closely collaborate with the DICT. And also, to ensure that we can also effectively implement our enforcement power of investigating, conducting entrapment operations. Of course, we do not have the resources to do that. We do not have strict law enforcement powers. We coordinate, we collaborate with the Philippine National Police and with the National Bureau of Investigation, as well as other law enforcement agencies. So through these partnerships that we strive to develop, we combine resources and strengthen coordination so that processes become simpler and connected. Aside from partnering with various government agencies, our mandate also includes empowering them by ensuring their compliance with the Ease of Doing Business Law. And among our initiatives, ARTA monitors compliances through the report card survey, which is a tool used by ARTA or being used by ARTA to evaluate agencies' performance based on client feedback and adherence to the requirements set by law. So ARTA not only ensure compliances by agencies, it also rewards or recognizes them. So we also conduct our yearly report card survey award ceremony, which recognizes agencies that demonstrate exemplary service delivery. As the table shows, the distribution of ratings received by the 904 survey agencies, including local government units, national government agencies, government-owned corporations, state universities and colleges, and local water districts and government hospitals. We have expanded the previous cycle and we plan to expand more to fully capture all agencies' performance to better public service. All depends, of course, to the budget given to us, to be given to us by the House of Representatives, as recommended by our Department of Budget and Management. In October 2025, We recognize 59 out of 904 agencies surveyed for the 2024 first cycle implementation, as shown on the screen. On private partnerships, we strengthen the implementation of the ease of doing business initiatives by building strong linkages between government and industry stakeholders. These partnerships allow the integration of innovative solutions and resources from the private sector into public service delivery. They also create opportunities for knowledge sharing, capacity building, and development of digital platforms that simplify transactions. And adding to our list of partners are our champions, the semiconductor electronics industry. These are talagang associations talagang strictly devoted to a particular kind of business, which also is a top dollar earner, providing thousands of employment to our people, the semiconductor and electronic industries. Of course, we also partnered with the Association of Government Internal Auditors to protect our system, to protect our money, to protect our budget, together with, of course, the Commission on Audit. During ating partnership is with the Association of Government Internal Auditors and a lot other partners. Too many to mention. Now, as we close the year, we are working with a total of 83 champions. And these champions, we have authorized them to receive complaints para ma-scrutinize sila, screen muna nila, and then refer it to ARTA. Bakit, why do you have to do this? Kasi merong mga companies that are hesitant, ay parang nag-aalinlangan kung they complain to us because they fear na baka sila balikan. So our advice is, you channel it through your association or chamber of commerce. But even then, we assure our complainants that we protect them. We can also protect their identity by, if they request acting or a tip or information, we can conduct discrete investigation, and on our own, we can conduct entrapment operations. But so far, I've been telling this, and I'm very confident, of the 99% success rate of our legal and of all the other complaints that we have filed over the 6 or 7 years of our operations, wala po kami natanggap na reklamo na merong isang government official or government agency or employee na binalikan itong ating mga complainant na sa pag-apply nila ng kanilang business permit in the following year, lalo sila pinahirapan. I'll be honest about it, wala po talaga kaming natanggap na reklamo tungkol dito. Kaya I'm so confident in telling people whenever I hear this hesitation that you have nothing to worry about. The simple explanation for that is the law itself. For the first offense or violation of the ease of doing business law, the penalty is 6 months suspension. For the second offense, meaning pag sila po ay binalikan nila or pinahirapan nila ang sino mang complainant, the penalty is dismissal. So sino sa mga government official employed that has been the subject of a complaint that will take the risk of dismissal if they make it more difficult for the applicant next time o nagkaroon sila ng reprisal, hindi po nila gagawin yun. Dahil alam nila na yung ATA po ay hindi mag-aatubili na imbestigahan sila and will file appropriate charges including the recommendation of dismissal. Fortunately, for us and for you who are still having that doubt, wala pong nangyayaring ganon. Okay. Another set of network partners, as shown on the screen, reflects our strong commitment to collaboration across borders and within our regions. Now, let me go to the more important aspect of our mandate, which is projecting an image of a business-ready Philippines that will necessarily and surely encourage businesses to come in and existing investors or businessmen to expand. With a whole of government approach and with the strong support of the private sector, the Philippines is becoming more ready for business and poised to attract greater investments. Kahit na po sa mga masamang balita, bad news about corruption, about flood control projects, that money that have been stolen, we continue to engage with our stakeholders. Last week nga po ay naging speaker ako, keynote speaker ako sa Nordic Chamber of Commerce, composed of chambers of commerce with ambassadors from Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. Ito po yung mga bansa sa tinatawag natin mga Nordic countries where they really value integrity and honesty in the process. They remain positive about the Philippines. And this only happened last week. At they continue to engage with us because they have businesses here that have been in existence for years, sometimes 100 years already. So why are they staying with us? And why are they saying that they're not saying that they're going to leave the Philippines? In fact, they're going to stay. And they have even plans of expanding. Why are they saying that? Because they believe in the Filipinos. Tayo po, sabi ko nga kanina, tayo po talagang generally we are generally good people. Masayahin tayo. Kahapon po, keynote speaker ako sa General Assembly and election of officers of the Federation of Association of Mariners Employers of the Philippines. Ito po yung mga ating mga kababayan na nagmamayari ng shipyards, mga mariners, katulad ni Atty. Nars Tapia, nandiyan po. Ito po yung karamihan ng Pilipinas. We are number 1 in terms of seafarers in the world, hindi in Asia, in the world. And number 5 in terms of shipbuilding. Dati number 4. Dahil kaya lang sa pag-alis ng Hanjin sa Subic, naging number 5 tayo. But there is so much potential for this country. Why? We are an archipelagic nation, composed of more than 7,000 islands. And we have the best seafarers, the best wielders, the best captains working in overseas. And the Denmark, Danish Embassy, Manila, has expressed strong interest by partnering with us, hosting the second seminar on shipbuilding and ship repair. Nagdala po sila ng mga experts dito coming from Europe, European Union, OECD, in Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, where they presented to us their study on the good prospect of revitalizing the shipbuilding and ship repair industry in the Philippines. Ito po ay magpapatunay ng kanilang strong interest. This morning, dumalaw po sa atin yung representative from the U.S. Embassy, from the U.S. Department of Trade, expressing the same interest, not only on the maritime sector, but also on semiconductor, transport, logistics, looking at the North Corridor, meaning itong areas of Clark, Subic, all the way to La Union, connecting to Batangas. They see a big potential for this. And we have expressed and shared with them the things that we're doing, and the meeting ended with more positivity, expressing their strong interest to partner and closely collaborate with us, together with agencies such as the Office of Secretary Frederick Go, Special Assistant to the President on Investment and Economic Affairs, who has been recently transferred to the Department of Finance, but will continue to look into and to manage the investment aspect of our country. Also to will partner with the Department of Transportation and all those other agencies involved in the priority sectors. And what we're doing at ARTA, we have chosen priority sectors and we empower government agencies, including local government units, not only in preparation for that prospect, but to come up with a one-stop shop for all the sectors that I mentioned earlier. Now, on the next slide, you will see, again, our preparation for the business ready report of the World Bank, which released its initial finding in October 2024, where the Philippines placed in the top 40% of the 50 countries or economies pilot tested by the World Bank, marking a strong start under the new framework. Alam natin yung annual Doing Business Survey being conducted by the World Bank until it was suspended in 2021 because of some data irregularity. The World Bank revised it, and called it the Business Ready Report. So, in the survey, in the pilot survey conducted by the World Bank, we ranked number 16 in the regulatory framework pillar. Ang ibig sabihin nito, in terms of laws and regulations, we are number 16 out of those 50 countries, showing real progress in creating clearer and more supportive rules for businesses from startup to closure. The Philippines also performed well in labor conditions, digital trade, and utility services, all critical drivers of investor confidence. However, sadly, unfortunately, the report also showed that we need to improve on our implementation of these programs or laws and regulations, because we did not fare well in terms of public services and operational efficiency pillars, particularly in the areas of business entry, location, competition, and insult. Ito po, nakita nila na mahirap pa rin magtayo ng negosyo dito sa Pilipinas. And, of course, we are not giving up. ARTA is doing something about it to address it not only in the short term, but even in the long term. That's why, in response to the President's designation of the Anti-Retif Authority as the focal agency to address the business ready report being done by World Bank, we partnered with all the agencies involved and the private sector, and we have this Ease of Doing Business Reform Guidebook. Yeah. As the next slide shows, ito pong Reform Guidebook we launched in May this year during the Ease of Doing Business Month celebration. Ito po yung ating roadmap to address the very issues, very challenges that are shown in the Business Ready Report by the World Bank. We will ensure that when we fully implement the Reform Guidebook, our ranking will improve hopefully in the next survey period. As to efficient public service for Filipinos, for people, efficient public service means government transactions are organized to avoid unnecessary steps or confusion, meaning dapat walang delay, walang pila, mabilis ang pagninegosyo dito sa Pilipinas. And how it is being done by ARTA? The use of digital platforms to speed up processes. Of course, before we digitalize, we streamline processes first. As the priority sectors, I mentioned earlier, the housing sector, including a joint memorandum circular with the Department of Human Settlements, or DSHUD, designed to restructure the sequence of actions needed to obtain permits for housing development. During our EODB convention, we had our supposedly ceremonial signing of the JMC. However, dahil hindi po nakarating yung mga principal and there was need to review the JMC which we wanted to present sana for signature, we moved the signing to, alam mo, signing ng JMC sa housing. Bro A, to a later date. On ARTA's digital initiatives, ito, marami po, you will see, di ko na po habaan, IBRIS, Artemis, for the empowerment as mandate of the EBOS, meaning these are all being done, being implemented with all the covered agencies. The IBRIS involves capacitating agencies to encode and download the regulations to that digital-based platform so that it will be easier, madali po nilang mahanap yung mga regulasyon. So, halimbawa, if you are engaged in restaurant business, all you have to do is click restaurant business. Yan, lahat po ng regulation involving restaurant business ay mag-appear doon sa digital platform yan. So, okay, dinner, gusto nyo magtayo ng negosyo doon sa restaurant, gusto nyo maging Michelin, tingnan nyo muna yung mga regulasyon na inyong susundan para maumpisan nyo ng tama ang inyong negosyo. Doon naman po sa ating citizen charter, napaka-importante po ito. Palagi natin in-advise. Any one of you, na kung kayo po ay you intend to engage or deal business with any government agency or local government unit, ang una-una po ninyong titingnan yung citizen charter. Kasi ito po ay requirement for all government agencies, including local government units, na ideklara nila yung kanilang mga serbisyo ginagawa para sa publiko, kasama yung mga requirements, the standard processing time, the fees to be paid, and bawal na bawal po na ang anumang ahensya or LGU na magpataw or mag-impose ng requirement or fee that is not declared in the Citizen Charter. So kung meron may problema sa isang ahensya, ang una niyong tatanungin ay yung kanilang Citizen Charter. Pero hindi nyo na kailangan pumunta physically para makita nyo yung kanilang Citizen Charter. Kung meron po kayong eGov Super App sa gamit ng ating cellphone, all you have to do is download the eGov Super App. At meron kayo nun, you will have access to all the government agencies' website, including the Citizen Charter. So madali na. From the comfort of your home, titingnan nyo, i-click nyo lang yung agency. Ang unang lalabas doon na NGA ay yung ARTA. At doon po makikita nyo kagad yung Citizen Charter at yung website ng government agency. Okay? Ito ito po, using the digital platform, so easy. E-boss, ganoon din po, yung business permit. Kung gusto niyo magtayo ng negosyo, gusto niyo magpapadali, doon sa mga LGUs na merong e-boss, madali niyo na makuha ang business permit. For Valenzuela, for example, 10 minutes, makukuha niyo yung business permit. Baliwag, Bulacan, less than 5 minutes. And for all the other 130 LGUs using the digital platform, pwede kayong mag-apply ng yung business permit from the comfort of your home or office. Hindi nyo na kailangan pumila sa munisipyo. Kung meron kayong reklamo, madali na rin po. ARTA has developed the Electronic Complaints Management System. Madali lang po. At para lalong mapadali, meron tayong na-develop through artificial intelligence. We call our virtual assistant, si Tana, na sasagutin ang inyong reklamo, ang inyong tawag, 24/7. At si Tana po, nakakaintindi ng 13 dialects. Chabacano, Paray, Ilonggo, Bisaya, Tagalog, ano pa mga 13 dialects. And she will respond to you in Filipino and in English. At hindi niya na kailangang sumulat sa form. Siya na mismo yung magta-transcribe ng form na yun. Hindi ko na buhaban. The list shows the 130 LGUs compliant with the EBOS. Okay, next slide. On the EBOS on the ground, ano po yung mga processing time, increases in the number of business registration as well as revenue collection. Din po dito sa example, no? Taguig, Calabon, Quezon City, they are all EBOS compliant LGUs. Figure show, doon sa mga LGUs that have EBOS, ang kanilang common experience, tumaas po yung kanilang business registration number at revenue collection. Dito po nagpapatuloy na kapag ang isang LGU ay streamline at digitalize mo ng process, lalago yung negosyo nila dahil yung mga businessmen mismo, they will voluntarily register their business because using the digital platform, yung mga business permit that are being issued by the LGU, it comes with the QR code. Kapag may QR code, hindi na po pwede ipeke yung business permit. And it's so easy to verify whether or not that business permit posted on the office of the company ay legally issued or not. So with that, by simply scanning the QR code, anyone can know whether that business permit has been validly issued. So businessmen knowing this, they will voluntarily register their business and pay the right amount of revenues or fees due the local government. So, if you're looking for the best evidence or the best way to convince people, LGUs and agencies to streamline and digitalize, the figures show. Okay. Next slide. We also, for our empowerment mandate, we conducted entrapment operation. Some of it resulted in the conviction of people in government for violating the law. A number of our successful convictions are shown on the slide. Okay, next slide. Ito po, yung sabi ko kanina, 99% success rate in the handling of cases filed with ARTA. Yung ECMS launching natin, no? We have partnered with the DICT. We launched the Electronic Complaints Management System, which is now integrated into the eGov PH app. This initiative fulfills the President's directive to consolidate all digitalized government services, including the HMS, into a single online platform. Bago po kayo makatulog sa pakikinig sa akin, nagisingin ko lang kayo sa isang maiksi na ADP. Alright. Please join me.